What does this link between disorder and capacity, what does that say to us about the definitions of mental illness, about how we should look at the disease? What are your thoughts in conclusion about where we are right now?
I think mental illness has to continue to be conceptualized as an illness, as by definition something that is disruptive and painful and costs the individual a lot in their lives. I don't think you can say, well, creativity kind of has some saving grace over there. I do think there's a relationship. I think it's an important relationship. I think it has important ethical and clinical implications. But I still think illness is illness, and you have to study that, and that's the most important thing.
James?
Well, if you look through the manuals, and when I looked through in my life, I had traits, and clearly had OCD and bipolar, and I had in this sociopathy that arose, and I had panic attacks for about 15 years. So as I went through, they were all clearly serotonin. If you look at the traits, you'd medicalize me into somebody who was a basket case. Instead, I'm successful and happy as a lark. So one of the parts of this is that, to look at the DSM, even though there's an increase of dimensionality, that's implied in it, that can be used. Part of the dimensionality is that, every time your kid does something funny or acts a little weird doesn't mean they're really mentally ill. And so that's, on the other end of it, a lot of these traits can be very good and creative things. And when our kids grew up and they were dressing funny and everything, I said, geez, let them do it. It's creativity and everything. But you never know where it's going to end up. But you take that chance. So I look at it, I look at more of the positive aspects of it, because I don't have patients that I treat, so I don't see, the terror in it. What I have, I feel good about. So I have a very sort of, sanguine view of the whole thing, which is probably inappropriate. But I think that, it really
just
is.
keep the guns away from it.
Mental illness, it's great,
Right.
But I think over-medicalizing these things, because you have those traits, is a problem. And it'll inhibit the kids you have, it'll inhibit their creativity if you jump on it too soon. But it's good to have a professional. And the more it's decriminalized, that is, seeing a professional, the better, I think. So,
Ellen, give us a final thought.
I think, the issues around mental illness are really interesting and difficult philosophical questions. How do you distinguish mental illness from eccentricity or deviance of other kind or genius or whatever? I think some of those problems are really interesting problems. I accept the medical model for the pragmatic reason that it helps me. It makes my life better. And I echo what Kay says. These are really illnesses. They cause disability. They cause pain. They cause suffering. And we should be striving to understand the illnesses, and if we can understand them and distinguish them and find treatments specific to each of them, that would be a fantastic thing. Another thing that Jim said, some of the issues are around, do we see mental illness as dimensional or categorical? And there are those debates going on, and I'm not sure what I think about that. But the bottom line is, these are biochemical illnesses. People shouldn't have to suffer, but they will if they don't seek treatment.